Hello everyone. So now we're going to take a look at the Anvil Carrack on PTU 3.10. Just brief note, in the patch notes, NPCs were supposed to no longer be standing on chairs. Someone forgot to tell everyone in Lorville that, because apparently sitting in a chair is no longer the cool thing to do in Lorville, and all the NPCs are standing on chairs. I don't know why this is a bug that CIG is having such a hard time fixing, but apparently it's a lot of coding involved. Alright, so we had the two previous videos today. I took the lighter, most nimble ship in the game up for a test spin, which would be the Anvil Arrow. And we saw that the new flight model, for the most part, doesn't have a lot of effect on at least the Arrow. I'm going to assume that's going to extend to the Gladius, most of the fighters, and probably to a certain extent most of the medium ships. And then we took up the Starfarer, which was the other end of the spectrum as far as atmospheric and space flight. It's always been known as being one of the more heavy and difficult to fly ships in and out of atmosphere. And we saw that it was almost unflyable. It was definitely flyable if you had patience, and I'm sure you could make it work. But the question is, why would you want to? So now we're going to jump into the Anvil Carrack, which has been really a lot of people's go-to ship for a lot of reasons. One, it carries a lot of cargo. Two, it's a larger ship and has a lot more features to it. You know, the medical bay, the ability to carry ships. You can have a lot of crew with you. It's got good gunnery, good shields. If you're doing solo cargo runs, those shields could be a lifesaver. So we're going to really see how this very heavily used ship in game works with the new flight model. I'm hesitant and I'm kind of a little scared because this is my favorite, as you know, for me as well. This is my go-to large ship. If I'm playing with friends, this is the ship we take. And here's the first sign. We're having a problem with the building blocks UI. I cannot select a floor, so I'll use the ladder to go up. So there's an issue. That's an older bug that had gone away and now it's apparently back. So we'll take the ladder for the kind of the back way. Which will bring us to the upper bridge. So I'm going to go ahead and just be a cheater and take the shortcut to the lower bridge. And again, these are stock builds. I'm doing all the testing using ESP and coupled on.
You are clear to launch.
And now we're going to be playing with the new splines that should be visible for larger ships. And this is definitely one of the largest ships we have in game currently. I believe mass-wise, this is currently the heaviest ship in the game, more so than the Starfarer. So we'll see how she flies. Already off the bat, I'm able to lift off without afterburner, which would make sense, since in theory she's got more VTOL thrusters. Why is it closing again? I'm not out. Why are you closing? Let me out. Nope, it's gonna lock me in. That's brilliant. I wasn't even that long in delaying. Hello? Can you let me out?
You are clear to launch.
Thank you. That was new. I've never had it do that. Hopefully it didn't damage my ship. up we go. There's our splines. Okay, Nelly. Let's lift the gear. Let's pitch up. Why is she rolling uncontrollably? There's another ship there. Oi! If I miss this first spline, what does it do? Okay, there we go. She definitely feels weightier, I'll give you that. So there's that kind of directional instability we saw with the Starfarer as well.
Warning, engines overheating.
At least we got a safe launch-ish. Questionable safe. Very curious why my center, you know, the V-joy or whatever you call it, it's permanently locked, those kind of parentheses. No matter what I press on the R, it's acting like it's a fixed weapon ship rather than what it really is. Alright, and then the gear is still down. Come on, gear, come up. This is another issue, known issue. There's the gear coming up, good. Now again, there's no VTOL engines on the ship per se. Not in the sense where, like, you know, you're the Caterpillar or whatever. Alright, so let's see. SCM speed is about a... Well, it should be speeding up still. Let's see. And we're seeing about 110 faster than the Starfarer SCM already, which is nice. Though it doesn't seem to actually want to get to SCM speed, so definitely slower. We'll give her some boost. Alright. So you gotta put the limiter above SCM to get it to SCM. That's interesting. Okay. Well, here we are at SCM, about 185. Let's check our roll. Oh gads, ladies and gentlemen, the roll rate's the same as the Starfarer, if not worse. This is full roll right now. I'm gonna have to start pitching to maintain altitude while I'm in this roll. This is worse than the Starfarer. Well, no, it's probably about the same as the Starfarer. I must regret having started this roll. I'm needing a lot of opposite controls, thrusters, strafing. I'm having to do everything. If I do all this, I get slightly better, but I mean, look at our speed drop. And our pitch drop. Oh my god. Alright, roll is gone. There's no more roll in large ships. Just accept this now. You're not going to roll a large ship anymore. Alright, let's check yaw and atmosphere now. We'll level it off. We'll just spin around till we see Lorville's tower. Again, I don't have a heading indicator, so it's really kind of hard to judge the rate. But it's very slow, and slower than it used to be by a lot. The Carrack used to be one of the more maneuverable ships. Like flying the Carrack really did not feel like flying a large ship. Now it does again. So that was 180 degrees. I think that's slower than the Starfarer. And our flight path vector's just now catching up to the turn, and we've kind of stopped the turn a while ago. Alright, we'll check pitch. It's 180 degrees. And 360. Pitch isn't bad. It's still sloppy, and you lose a lot of speed. but it's more doable. Let's go ahead and come down here, go low level with this ship. Because again, this is an exploration ship. You should be bringing it in to land and explore planets. That's its entire purpose of this ship, honestly. Let's come down here and check out these lakes. See how that flight without boost, that flight path vector lags behind really badly. And it definitely bounces around a lot. I don't know how well you can see this on this stream, but it's the kind of left and right bracket just below our targeting pip. And you can kind of see how it's bouncing left and right like that. That is interesting. I'm wondering how that would affect someone targeting this ship right now. Alright, so we'll go ahead and get the gear down. Now I have to actually look externally to make sure they're coming down, because of that lovely bug.
Deployed.
Alright, so we're going to slow down and come down.
Deck proximity alert. Port proximity alert. Landing complete. Takeoff complete. Landing complete.
Alright, so we're able to get down okay. We could lower the ramp, we could get out. Let's check the liftoff on her.
Takeoff complete. Port proximity alert.
Using a little bit boost. Gear up. Getting out of dodge because it turns out there's angry aliens. Let's see how long the climb is to orbit, and then we'll check the space flight.
Landing gear raised. Engines overheating.
She really does not want to pitch up. Still losing speed. Only at 65 degrees. I guess as we get higher, we should be able to have an easier time climbing out. Does she handle better than the Starfarer subjectively? Not really. The Carrack now handles at least in atmosphere, very similarly to the Starfarer. A little easier to land. Maybe marginally better than the Starfarer. Mostly just to the bit larger engines. You know, you got some really big engines to help move you along here, but she's definitely no longer a go-to ship unless you need a lot of, unless you need to be carrying rovers and crew and cargo. I don't see her being used for like ground ops anymore. It'd be easier just to jump in a Cutlass or in a anything. Cutlass Red if you need the medical beds. Alright, we're almost at 10,000 feet, so we should be able to head up to orbit. So let's find a quick quantum point. So yeah, really, and then we got a thruster fluctuation just from trying to climb out. It's not letting me spool? Alright, what are you doing, game? I hear it making the sound. There we go. There's Everest. That's interesting. It doesn't show you the quantum spool thing anymore unless you're actually aimed at a target. Let's get out of atmosphere. Yeah, I don't know. Carrack flies a lot like the Starfarer now. I imagine the Cat might as well. Definitely do not approve of that. Alright, let's check top speed in space of the Carrack. Used to be about 1275. Definitely one of the larger and faster ships in the game. Which made sense because it's a military explorer, so if you find something bad, you gotta get out of Dodge. Right. 1234. So still fast enough to escape if needed. It's going to take you a long time to get there, but it'll happen. Maneuverability now. So we're above SCM. She's still pretty drifty, as opposed to what she used to be. And man, she's definitely overheating more than she used to. Maze Cat, Carrack as far as battle firepower. The Hammerhead is probably the only ship currently in game that can top it. You got 4 turrets with 2 size 4 weapons. So you basically have 8 size 4 guns. And now that turrets have been improved in gameplay, again, I haven't had a chance to test it. Supposedly they've been improved. So in theory, it's quite the little battleship, and all the guns can fire either full forward or full aft. But again, keep in mind it's not a combat ship. This is an exploration ship. So the guns are really meant to defend it as you're running away. That's the entire point of it. But it does have 2 size large shields, those turrets. So against fighters, it does very well. Don't try to take on an Idris or an actual warship with this ship. You're not going to do well because again, armor-wise, I imagine it's going to be less heavily armored than something like those. But as far as the game as it currently stands, she definitely handles her own. And you could probably, again, with space maneuverability changes, this might be slightly more maneuverable than the Hammerhead. I'm going to have to test it out now. But it used to be significantly more maneuverable than the Hammerhead, and that's where you could kind of have the upper hand on a Hammerhead in combat. But now, I don't know. We're going to have to see how things play out now. I could do a lot of testing. So here we are at SCM speed, coming up on Everest Harbor, checking the roll. Roll in space is much better than the Gemini, but again, I'm using full opposite roll now. It's got a lot of momentum. So now it's going to take a lot. So I get rolling. It's a high roll rate. I stop rolling. This is 0 input. It takes a long time to stop roll. So you really kind of have to use opposite roll to counteract. Pitch is pretty responsive. And again, you got an SCM speed about 210 in space. We'll check pitch real fast. Yes, the bogey that keeps coming up is the Starfarer Gemini from the last video. Oops, I'm sorry, I left it there. Alright, here we go. Rotating. Pitch. That's 180. 360, stop. Not bad. Check yaw now. Yeah, I mean, she's definitely, at least in space, still much better than the Starfarer. So you're going to have a lot better luck flying the Carrack in space. It handles better than the Starfarer, but in atmosphere, honestly, the Carrack is handling very similarly to the Gemini in atmosphere, which again would make sense. They're bigger ships, So I guess from a balance perspective, it makes sense. From a gameplay perspective, I don't know if that makes sense. I really don't. I don't think it does, to be completely honest. I feel like the Carrack should perform, and Starfare should perform much better in atmosphere than they do. Alright, we're going to end the stream with a fun little, let's see if we can rotate around this. I'm going to say this is probably a no, but here we go. So where you lose it in these kind of maneuvers is as you're shifting your velocity vector around to keep a constant distance, you need to use your boost to keep yourself moving forward. And if you're overheating a lot, that makes it hard to do. But definitely doing better than the Starfare. But at this point we've lost it and we're drifting away from the station because we've overheated the thrusters. But definitely maneuverability wise, in space, the Carrack blows away the Gemini. So space-wise, good. Atmosphere, they're both, I don't know what a polite term would be other than garbage. That's the term that I have, is in and out of atmosphere now with these larger ships is a nightmare. We're going to go ahead and try to land at Lorville, and we'll finish the stream off with following the splines into landing, and we'll see how that goes. This will be my first time trying to land in a landing zone with a larger ship with this new spline mechanic. But yeah, everything is sloppier, even quantum. Come on. Oh my god. You're annoying me, game. Thank you. Stay. Stay. I feel like they changed how accurate you have to be with quantum for targeting, and that's really annoying. Also, Amaze Cat, if you're still on the stream, love the name. Okay. Here we come down to Lorville. I have a feeling this is going to be an exercise in futility, but let's try to land. And again, if you've watched my streams before, you know I try not to use this perspective a lot. I'll use it to observe how pretty the ship looks and to look for battle damage or something like that, but for the most part, I try to fly in here because I kind of find the idea of landing third person distasteful. If I'm flying a ship, I should be able to fly it from the cockpit. Alright. I don't know how far out I have to request landing now, so we'll see. See, it's funny, is I'm still getting blown around by the winds in the Carrack, which is just interesting to be in a ship this large and having issues with winds. Just feels a little strange. Let's see if I can request yet. Yes.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
Alright. So where are our splines? It looks like they briefly appeared down here. So there's the splines. You see those things? Look where they are. Those look like splines to launch, not land. So we'll fly to the splines. If you're not nerve-wracked flying this right now, you're not doing it right, I guess. Imagine coming in with a full cargo load right now. Whew. So you can see our landing pad's down there to the left. At what point am I allowed to then proceed to the landing pad is my question. Whoop. I glance away for a moment and we're falling out of the sky. Alright. I guess at this point I'm allowed to land. She really wants to fall out of the sky. I'm having to use up pitch and afterburner right now a little bit. Yep. Clip something. Come on, sweetie. What did I clip? Oi! Oi! Yeah. This is gonna be fun. She's so sloppy. Like she's just like wandering around inside here. Alright, external view. We ended up in the middle-ish. Barely. That was interesting. Alright, so definitely some getting used to, ladies and gentlemen. She's become a sloppy, sloppy ship. So, would I recommend the Carrack for cargo running? More than the Gemini. More than the Starfarer, for sure. Would I recommend it over the Cat? I don't know. We'll find out when we test out again. So the elevators are still broken. So I've got no way to select bottom floor. I can guess this is bottom floor and click. We're getting no motion. So that's great. Trapped in the elevator. PTU, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, so that's going to end that stream there. If you made it to the end, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. So again, from the pilot perspective, this is my summary of the new flight model. Light ships, good. Medium ships, okay. Larger ships, more realistic, question mark. Not really. I don't think it makes sense for a spaceship that can make itself to orbit struggle to land, struggle to maneuver. I don't think that makes sense. I think there should be decisions made when taking a larger ship. Yes, I think you should have to choose, am I going to take this larger ship or a smaller ship? Granted. but I don't think it should be this drastic. I don't think it should be that much of a penalty for bringing a larger ship to the point where landing in a starport is a question of whether or not you're going to get down safely. That should never be in question. I'm not God's gift to flying in real world or in Star Citizen, but I like to think I'm relatively competent. I've never had that much of a hard time landing a Carrack. I've never had that much of a hard time maneuvering in a ship. So I definitely think there are some serious issues that need to be addressed. Let's see if I got a landing fee now. Nope, no fines. That's good to know. But anyway, I guess in summary, this is where I'm going to call it for today. I'm not going to really make any more videos today. I appreciate if you all made it to the end. I'm going to sit this and let this simmer in my head a little bit. I got some day drinking to do. And once that's done, I'm going to hang out with my wife some. Chances are I'll be doing some more streams. I'll check the Carrack, Freelancer, some more of the medium ships, and the Caterpillar. But for right now, I'm not sure this flight model was a welcome change. Sorry to end it with that thought for you guys, but again, for the smaller ships and combat, I think it's a good change from that perspective. So Squadron 42 perspective of flying a Gladius around and shooting down Vandal, sure, it's just fine. PU, delivering cargo, exploration, having fun, I'm not so sure it's a good change. I think ships like the Carrack, Starfarer need some love, need some attention, and need to perform a lot better in atmosphere than what we've seen today.